One of my friends in my 20s, he was a tall lad, but he was very gentle sort. And he was in a warehouse job with rough guys who used to jostle him, shove him around, make him feel small, call him names, block his path when he was trying to walk out of a room. Intimidation. They bullied him. Why am I making a video about bullying? In this world, at the present time, bullying can be as light as people saying nasty things and sending nasty text messages and receiving nasty comments on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. And I just wanted to put this into perspective because I think there's a definite generational difference here on what qualifies as bullying. Back in my day, because I'm sounding like an old man, because I am an old man, nearly 50, bullying was when you were physically pushed out of the way, pushed down or actually physically beaten up. That was bullying. Slapped, pushed, punched. Now, if you've not had that, and you've had a very gentle world around you, then you won't really know what bullying is. Why am I mentioning this? Because I know it affects a lot of creative people. They're worried about the comments that they get on the internet. And I just like to try and put this in perspective. This is almost an imaginary problem. Words on the screen, regardless of the intention behind them, should not have any impact on you. And the responsibility actually lies with you. From my point of view, it's a good thing to have haters. Because the world, whether we like it or not, has a certain percentage of people who hate. The more haters you have, the greater number of people you're actually reaching with whatever you're trying to communicate. You can almost use it as a yardstick. If you're getting lots and lots of hate, it means you're getting lots and lots of attention. Because only a small proportion of people are haters. I hesitate to put a percentage on it. And I know people are certainly going to be bolder and more likely to hate when it's online because it takes no courage. If you were to say hateful things to people face to face, you're likely to get a very different reaction. You could even get a physical punch in the face for it, who knows. But if you're a creator who doesn't want to put your work out there because you are hurt by words, what I would suggest is you need a change of mindset. I think my generation had an advantage because we had outdoor childhoods. Computer games and all the indoor technology stuff didn't really come in for us until teenage time. But having that outdoor childhood, running and jumping around, riding your bikes in and out of rivers, physical playing out, and sometimes running up against where I grew up, there was what we called the Jippo camp, gypsies, tough little brats. Didn't matter if they were very small, they were tough, and some of them carried knives. If you ran into them, you couldn't show fear, you couldn't be a wuss. And just in the area where I grew up, which was a nice looking area with nice big houses and everything, but children were rough with each other and there were physical fights. Bullying meant being punched, kicked, tripped up, pushed down, stopped from walking in a certain direction, being forced to go in another direction. The bigger boys would do this to the smaller ones. So you had to toughen up. To use a movie example extreme, 300, where the boy has to go out into the wilderness and survive with a spear and kill a wolf. Now, you're not up against that. We were never up against that. If you've had a very soft life, and that movie Fight Club has quite a bit to say on this as well. If you've never been in a real fight, you don't really know yourself. So I'm not advocating violence, saying, all men should fight. The physicality needs to be there. If that's taken out of life, you're just dealing with significance. If you're in the condition where comments and words on a screen, even if it's really nasty intentions behind it, if that hurts you, then you've got a problem. You're extremely vulnerable. You need to be much tougher than that. Say, it's easy to talk. What can I do about it? Well, you can start being physical. You could go to extremes. My neighbourhood was a bit extreme, and we did boxing. But I tell you what, once you learn to box, you're pretty much left alone. Because the idea of a fight, it's fun. It actually becomes fun. And you're not scared of a punch in the face. It's like, it doesn't bother you at all. And when bullies come along, great, a fight. They're not used to this, Someone enthusiastic about a fight? What's this about? Who's not even drunk? Again, I'm not advocating violence. I'm just saying, if you do a discipline like boxing, trust me, words on a screen will not bother you at all. I'll give you a couple of examples. One of my friends in my 20s, he was a tall lad, but he was very gentle sort. And he was in a warehouse job with rough guys who used to jostle him, shove him around, make him feel small, call him names, block his path when he was trying to walk out of a room. Intimidation, yeah? Never actual physical impacts or kicking or punching or even slapping, but they bullied him. So my solution to this was, come to the gym with me. I'll get you lifting very heavy weights and get you strong, yeah? And after a very short time, yes, his muscles got bigger and he looked quite different. He got a girlfriend and these guys just stopped bullying him. His whole space around him became confident, and it just changed. His whole emotional vibration went up, and he didn't get bullied anymore. Another example was with my stepson. He's only 14 right now, but about a year ago, he was being bullied quite badly in school. He's a tall lad, but very gangly, very skinny, and no physical strength. And the biggest boy in the class was big for his age. Some boys reach maturity early, so they get their man strength very early in life. And this big kid was physically bullying my stepson. Now, this is in China, not nearly as civilized, you know? So it was actual bullying. He was actually being punched and beaten and pushed to the ground, yeah? Okay, I taught him basically how to box. And I taught him just to push me around. Now, I'm nearly 6'2", 14 stone, and I thought if he can push me around and give him the confidence to push a guy my size around, he will handle a school bully, was the thinking. Anyway, one day he comes home covered in cuts and bruises, really quite battered looking. He had a fight with this tough kid, and I said, did you win? He said, yeah, I won, but it was hard. Well done, yeah? Never got bullied again after that. Again, I'm not advocating violence. It was necessary for him because it was a rough environment. What I'm trying to say is that if you toughen up your level to what you think of as bullying, then it doesn't have to be as extreme as martial arts or boxing or 300. But if you just do a physical pursuit like lifting weights, do something manly, you know, go and do sports, toughen yourself up, words will not bother you. They'll just be words on the screen and you'll just find it amusing. It can't bother you, it's too small. And it only bothers you because you're very small inside. So you've got to make yourself big inside. Doing physical confrontation type sports will definitely give you that. So I strongly recommend it if you're somebody who is bothered by comments on a screen, because you do need to change your ideas of what constitutes bullying. And if you do this, you'll never look back. You'll wonder, what was going on with me there? Why did I allow myself to shrink to that level? And you won't go back. Have a great day.